What's up, guys? This is going to be Torture Trials number 4. Sorry if I look a little rough. Went to the gym in my douchebag t-shirt. If you don't like it, sorry, don't give a shit. But I had a nap earlier, and I'm kind of like, I don't know, kind of in and out. Does that make any sense? A little bit tired, but I feel better. I was feeling a little rough after the gym. I was like, I need to do something because I'm feeling rough. So I went ahead and took a nap, and I feel great now. So we're going to do a beer review. Actually, we're going to do Torture Trials. And I can honestly say I'm glad I'm getting this one out of the way, but I'm not glad that I have to do it because me and this beer have experience together, and fuck. I hate it. Hate it. I drank a lot of it back in the day, and because it was cheap, and me and this beer go way back, and it's been years since I've had it. When I started drinking craft beer, I vowed I would never drink that again. But for the sake of entertainment, I'm drinking it again. So, but before we get on to that, because this bitch is pretty cold, I want to show you my Father's Day present. One of them. I was going to wear the other one, but, I didn't grab it out of the bedrooms, whatever. This is the cool one, okay? Look at that. It's got my son and the girlfriend's name on it. And then, it's got my name on it. I thought that was pretty cool. So now I've got a bottle opener. This thing's fucking thick. Look at this bitch. This ain't no pussy ass, wimpy ass little, bottle opener. This bitch is thick, and it's cool because it doesn't have a seam. It doesn't look like it's been welded. It looks like it's been stamped out of a single piece of stainless steel, because it is stainless steel. They can only engrave stainless steel at the place you took it, so cool. And it's got some clout to it too, dude. It's some stout shit, so. But we don't need it because the review we're doing today is in a can. So, and after I introduce the beer, I want to talk about something. But today we've got Bud Ice, 5.5 ABV. Now look at that right there. See what that says? It says lager, okay? Now, over here, where is it at? On the bottles, it says ale on the side, which is weird. Because most of the time, anything over 5.0, like we've talked about, they don't call it lager in our town. They call it, ale or malt liquor or whatever the fuck. So, but yeah, 25 ounce can of Bud Ice. Okay, so I rip on Anheuser-Busch all the time, okay? I really do. I rip on them like you wouldn't believe. And it's because I'm not a fan of their product, okay? I call them shit beers and all that other stuff. But one thing the Torture Trials has taught me is to not approach every beer from a craft beer perspective, okay? Because if you judge this as a craft beer, it's gonna suck. So I've kind of opened the Torture Trials has kind of opened my eyes, okay? Especially going back after a couple of years of drinking craft beer and tasting these beers and whatnot. So I'm going to do my best in my videos to not rip Anheuser-Busch rip their ass so much, okay? That's just me doing me. But I'm going to try to do that because I know there are some Anheuser-Busch fans out there. And if you think about it, Anheuser-Busch is a huge company with a lot of clout. They have a lot of money to buy ingredients. And they're not going to buy the worst of the worst, bottom of the barrel, shitty ingredients for their beers. They might buy middle of the road. Yeah, they're not going to buy like extra premium like craft beer. But it's not going to be, like the how we give the Chinese such shit for making cheap toys. It's not going to be like that, okay? Just throwing that out there for you. So, Ridge pint glass, like I said, they never deserve anything better. This is not a high gravity lager. This is an ice beer, and I'll explain that here in a second. All those people don't know what an ice beer is, but I want to get this out because I'm really thirsty and my mouth is dry. So I just woke up. But I can honestly say I'm not looking forward to it. Because me and this beer have had some really bad times and we've had some really good times. So we'll see how this turns out this time around. Now, I poured it pretty hard. And now they can, for whatever reason, they try to, I've seen people pour them out of the can, but I've never poured Bud Ice in a cup, in a glass. So this is a first for me, but a lot of head. Bubbles streaming up all over the place, Crystal clear, typical. Now, ice beer. I'm going to go ahead and get a sip of this. I'm going to hold back for the review after I talk about what ice beer is. But okay. Ice beer is when they take a beer and they brew it, okay? At the end of the brewing process, they take and they freeze it partially. And what that does is it creates a thin skim of ice. I mean, you can even do this at home. I did it yesterday by accident with a 40, okay? You freeze it, okay, and it creates a thin layer of ice on top. And the reason is because water freezes. Alcohol, pure alcohol, doesn't, okay? So when that happens in the brewery, they freeze it and it creates a thin layer in the whole big batch tank, big motherfucker. And then they scoop it off and they throw it away or whatever they do with it. They might melt it and use it to water the plants. I don't know. But all that bullshit aside, that's what they do. And it reduces the volume that is in the actual, the fermenting tank or whatever, not fermenting tank, but the vessel that they're brewing it in, and that increases the alcohol by volume because the volume is decreased but the alcohol stays the same, so the percentage is increased slightly. Okay, these started out back in the 90s. They were the shit because that was the new way of getting extra strong, super beer back then, for a cheap price. And so people went ape shit and every company made an ice beer. A lot of them aren't around nowadays, but yeah. So that's basically what an ice beer is. Okay. Now we have high gravity lagers and we have juice and Four Loko, and so it's not. Ice beers have kind of fallen to the wayside. But I did watch a review from Ronald, and I'm not gonna butcher your last name, man, because I love your videos. But he does Louisiana beer reviews. And he has reviewed everything like twice. Seems like he's reviewed the fucking planet at least twice. It's nuts. He's been making videos since like 2010 or some shit. As far as I've been able to find, I found his very first video that he, Louisiana Beer Reviews, episode 1, which was done in 2010. So yeah, the dude's awesome, and he has reviewed, almost all of the ice beers and whatnot, and all the ice beers that I know of. He's awesome. But yeah, I forgot what I was saying. Losing my mind. So let's get on to this. Oh, he reviewed this like 2016, did a revisit in like January. So, and he was saying that this has become one of the most popular beers, here recently. So, I mean, maybe it's making a comeback. Ice beers are coming back. Fuck, I don't know, but let's get a nose on it. Okay. My hands are sweaty from the gym and sleep, and they smell like sweat, and it's maybe a little barley malt. No real alcohol sweetness to speak of. A little bit of bitterness. I can't tell if it's carbonation or hops. And it doesn't really have much to analyze. Let's go ahead and get a flavor. Weird burp face. Okay, up front, barley malt. In the middle, corn. This one, they said, is brewed with corn and rice. I didn't look it up. I'm just going off information I found on YouTube. I could be completely fucking wrong, but that's what people have said. It's corn and rice and barley malt, water, yeast, hops, and yeast extract and some other extract. Okay, is what it's brewed with. But barley malt up front, the adjuncts in the middle, a little bit of hop bitterness in the back, not a whole lot, just enough to, because it does have a higher ABV, so it wouldn't surprise me if the hop bitter, it tastes like the hop bitterness is a little more than what a normal Bud, Budweiser or Bud Light would have, because the sweetness is there, and the sweetness it's not offensive. I'm gonna be honest. The torture trials has been really humbling, especially since I have. God damn. I've sat down and tried to level the playing field a little bit and judge things for what they are. Okay, I came into this review fully prepared to give this fucker a 0. Okay, which actually I gave the 0 to Steel Reserve 211, which the video will be up for that here pretty quick. But yeah, I gave Steel Reserve a 0. It's not bad. I mean, it's really not. For what it is, it's to be honest, I don't remember tasting it tasting like that. But I bet if I went and took a swig out of the can, I might have a throw up. And that's just because I've thrown up so many times from drinking this stuff. And that is not because it's terrible, but because of drinking it in excess, okay? Because and what the fuck, man? You motherfuckers be talking in the comments section of that Ronald guy's video about beer, that Bud Ice being 99 cents. Where the hell do y'all live? Because down here in Texas, at my liquor store, that was like $1.79, okay? Which is, I mean, it's cheap, but that's not 99 cents. That's more expensive than 99 cents. So, I don't know if it's because Texas has weird, beer taxes and shit, but it ain't no 99 cents cheap. It's cheap, but it ain't that cheap. So, it's hard to, now it's hard to give this one a bad rap. I do get when I drink it quickly, I do get the faintest metallic flavor, and I don't know if that's just because I'm drinking it so fast, but it's not bad. It really isn't. It's about middle of the road, okay? It's not up there with the Colt 45. That was a really good cheap shit beer. That was really good. I was surprised, okay? It's not up there with Corona, and it's not. I think it might tie with Mickey's, okay? It's close. And it's close in ABV with Mickey's, okay? So, I'm going to go ahead, and for the torture trials, I'm going to give it a 6. Because it's not atrocious. It's not terrible. It could be a lot worse. So, that's my torture trials review and ramble. I apologize to Anheuser-Busch for giving you all that shit for all these years. I've kind of been, going with the trend, but I've wisened up, put it that way. And like I said, these torture trials have been humbling. So keep an eye out for the next video. Don't know what it's going to be, honest, because I'm kind of broke. So it'll be what it is. And we'll see you in the next one, guys. Thanks for watching.